Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Analysis for IAS 2025. As it is 15th August today, so happy Independence Day today, everyone. You know, every day on this YouTube channel we upload two videos. In the first one, we discuss the daily news analysis, which is this video. We try to discuss the most important articles in the newspaper which are relevant for your exams and which we had not repeatedly taken. So we take the most important and new articles every day. We try to discuss them in detail. We try to break them into the simplest language possible so that it would be easy for you to understand the topic and take the most important information from these articles and implement it in your exams. And in the evening session, which is the most important session for us, in that session, we discuss the daily quiz, we discuss the questions with respect to the news analysis, with respect to the current affairs, and we take some previous year questions too. We discuss them. We try to find out the methods by which we can solve those questions and how we can implement that knowledge in our upcoming exam. You know, you can find these news analysis everywhere on the YouTube, and there might be better YouTube channels for this. But trust me, the daily quiz which we discuss, that is extremely good and that would be very much useful for you. So please do stay with me. At least subscribe the channel and do watch those videos which are about daily quiz. It would be very much helpful for your exam. It will definitely help you to crack your prelims exam next year. Now, without any delay, first I would like to request you to subscribe the channel, share it with your friends, and do write in the comments what are the changes we should bring in this initiative so that it would be more helpful for you guys. Now let's look at the topics which we have to discuss today. The first article, there was an attack in Doda where an army captain was killed. So with respect to that, we will try to understand the trends in terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. After that, we will discuss about another article, important article. Recently Supreme Court, it gave by its verdict gave the right to the states to collect the taxes on mines and minerals. So with respect to that, there was a discussion whether that ruling of the Supreme Court would be taken prospectively or retrospectively. So with respect to that, we will discuss it. After that, we will discuss the phase 3 clinical trial opens for indigenous dengue vaccine, which is dengue all. We will discuss about that. Finally, we will discuss about three more Ramsar wetland sites now in India. We will discuss about it. And then there was an editorial in today's Hindu newspaper about heal in India, about health sector in India and how we had developed from the independence till now. We will discuss about it in detail. Now, move to our first article. It is about change of trends in terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. You know why we are taking this news on this Independence Day? Because of a very unfortunate news from the Jammu and Kashmir in the Doda sector, which is this south of the Kashmir. In the south of the Kashmir, in the Pir Panjal range, what happened there was a terrorist attack, and unfortunately, a captain got killed in this attack. Now, if we will look at these attacks in the month of August itself, there had been four such attacks in the south of the Kashmir region. So there is definitely the change of trend in the attacks in the Jammu and Kashmir. If we will go back to the history, if we will see, if we will, if you are little bit aware of the Jammu and Kashmir's history, if you little bit know about the terror attacks there, the militants in Jammu and Kashmir, and if you were regular visitors of news channel or you would had heard it from somewhere else, you would often hear that there was an attack in Kashmir, in the Sopore region, in the Baramulla region, in the Srinagar region. You would have least heard of such things that there was an attack in Doda, in Jammu, in Kishtwar, in somewhere else region. So what is the point? मतलब कि यहाँ पे एक चीज we have to understand one thing here, that there definitely is a change of trend in these attacks. If we look back from when the militancy started in Jammu and Kashmir, it was in 1987 when militancy started. And during that time, what happened, the focus area of militancy was majorly the Kashmir region, majorly the north of the Kashmir region and central Kashmir. The south Kashmir was least impacted. The majority was influenced, the major area which was influenced was the North Kashmir, Kapwara region, Baramulla region, and also the Srinagar region. These were the focus areas of the militancy. People, the people living then there, they were very much, few of them are very much supportive to them because of the political conditions in the Jammu and Kashmir. But by the help of the government, by the help of the security forces, this was very much neutralized. It has been very much neutralized in Jammu, in the Kashmir region itself right now. You would least hear of such attacks in the north of Kashmir region. Malab, you would hardly hear such attacks now. From the last few years, I think from the last 6 to 7 years, there has been least attacks in the north of the Kashmir region. Hardly they can be counted. So least attacks are there. But the attacks in the south region has very much increased. It has skyrocketed. What could be the reasons for that? There are some geographical reasons. There could be some geographical reasons. There could be some strategic change, the influence of the Pakistan, and also the India-China war, which was India-China Gulwan war recently. So there is lot of it is influenced by the lot of things there. Now let's look at it one by one. What are the reasons for that? First, if we will look at the Pir Panjal, the south of the Pir Panjal region, that is very much forestry. मतलब कि वहाँ से बहुत ज़्यादा you would find caves there, you would find lots of forests there, lots of trees there. मतलब that would be very dense, and and also the snowfall in that region is very low, so very less. So it makes it very much easy for the militants to find shelter in such areas rather than finding shelter in Kashmir region, finding shelter in North Kashmir region, as it is mostly plain. It is the valley, it is mostly plain area, and there are least places for them to hide. When these militants get least support from the locals itself, so they can't hide in the houses. Even though they hide in the houses in the Kashmir region, that information is a transfer to the securities within a fraction of hours. So for them, the Kashmir region has become very much, मतलब कि उनके लिए कश्मीर रीजन पूरा बंद किया गया है. They can't hide in there, they don't have the place there to hide. And also the climate there, the tradition there, when it snows in Jammu and Kashmir, it is very harsh. For them to travel from one place to another, they get stuck into the places, into the houses, so it gets very difficult for them to survive in the Kashmir region. As compared to the Jammu region, as compared to the south of the Pir Panjal region, the snowfall is very low. There are dense forests there. There are caves there where they can easily hide, and that is very well suited for the guerrilla warfare, which is the key factor for these militants. They are not that much trained that they can fight in the plain areas, but they can fight the guerrilla warfare, and that's why they are succeeding. They are getting success in this area. The second reason for this is because of the China war, recently China war. There was, as it is already in the minds, it is in the psychology of our country that most of the terror attacks were happening in Jammu and in Kashmir region. So the security in the Jammu region was very much neutralized. They took most of the security from the Jammu region. They shifted them towards the Galwan area, and it gave the wideness to the militants, and it became the heaven for them. And there was lack of security, and their folks started that area, and it became very safe haven for them because of the lack of security there. And third thing, the proxy war of the Pakistan, which is very much continuous from 1947 itself. They they sponsor their militants. They sponsor their militants in such areas as they had. Now they had also understood it that the Kashmir region is not safe for their sponsored militants. Now they are sponsoring it in the Jammu region, and as that has become a very much safe haven for them. And also the Jammu region, there the population demography is very much different. Both Hindus and Muslims are living there, and it gets very, for the militants, it gets very easy to survive there, because they can, in Kashmir region they have that mentality. They don't want to hurt the people of native, of their of their own ideology. But in Jammu region, it is very much clear to them. So there is a communal trend there for them. So they find it safe haven for themselves. They find that place very much suitable for them. So there are many other reasons by which this shift in terror attacks has been seen in recent years. And also, if we had also seen many cases where there had been very much, there had been resentment, there had been hatred for the Indian security force in these areas of the Jammu region, because of the, because of the tortures this Indian security forces had carried, allegedly carried in few Indian rogue security forces had carried in few areas in Jammu region. And it has increased the hatred, little bit hatred in the people. And they try to give there is ground support to these militants in these areas. That is the one of the reason why these attacks are increasing in the south of the Pir Panjal region, in the Jammu region. So that is why there is change of trend in these militant attacks in the Jammu and Kashmir region. I hope I was very much clear in explaining this article. A very simple article. In the article itself, it was mentioned about the captain who got killed in gunfight in anti-terror operation in Doda. It was about him only, but I tried to, increase our focus in this article. Try to understand something different, which is very much necessary for our preparation. Now, moving forward, the another article, it talks about, SC refuses to restrict the state's power to tax and mines only prospectively. You know, if you remember recently in the month of July, the Supreme Court, it gave its verdict in the nine-judge bench verdict, where eight judges they unanimously, it was a majority verdict, but talking about the eight judges, they unanimously said that it is the right of the states, to collect the taxes on the mines and minerals. With respect to that, there came a question whether this ruling of the Supreme Court will apply prospectively, that is from that day when this ruling came, or retrospectively from the beginning when this law was made. So there was a question. And with respect to that, there many stakeholders, they went to the Supreme Court. They started a play. They went to the Supreme Court and asked the Supreme Court to revisit its decision and give the clarification about that. And they wanted that this ruling should apply prospectively, not retrospectively. But recently, the Supreme Court rejected that plea and said that the ruling of the Supreme Court is very much retrospectively. It will be taken very much retrospectively, because if the Supreme Court does so, it will violate many state laws. It will definitely violate many state laws, and and it will hamper the constitutionality of our country, because states are very much allowed to collect such taxes. And if and there are very many state laws with respect to that. And if this judgment of the Supreme Court is taken prospectively, then it will definitely violate many such state laws, and it will impact the constitutionality of the country. And with this, the Supreme Court clarified few things in this judgment. What are those things? Let's look at that. Now, First, the states can levy taxes on mines and minerals rights from April 1, 2005. From April 1, 2005, states can levy those taxes, and before that, states can't levy that. States can't ask for those taxes which are mentioned before April 1, 2025. They are left alone. But after April 1, 2005, states can levy taxes. And also, the bench clarified that there would be no interest on or penalty imposed. If any company, or we can say if any institution, if any industry was not had not paid the taxes till now, for them there would be no interest or penalties imposed. They will have to pay the amount which they are, the tax amount which they have to pay. And also, the Supreme Court further noticed one thing, that there were many states who did not want to collect such tax. With respect to that, the Supreme Court said that it is the right of the state legislature to determine whether to forgive the dues, whether to forgive, whether to not ask for dues, or to ask for that. It is under the state, it is under the state legislatures to do so. So the Supreme Court left it with this state legislature itself, and it is their choice whether they will want it or not. It is up to them. As Supreme Court noticed that many states in our country, they don't want to collect such taxes, so then the Supreme Court, with respect to that, it left it to the state legislatures itself whether they want to collect it or not. It is up to state legislatures. So this was about this article, and the retrospective ruling of its retrospective impact of its recent ruling with respect to the state's power to collect taxes on mines and minerals. So I hope you would have understood this article very much. Now let's move towards the another article. It talks about the phase 3 clinical trial opens for indigenous dengue vaccine. You know, since we are very much focused on indigenous, industries, domestic industries everywhere, whether it would be in defense, whether it would be in medication, our aim has changed. We are much more focused on make in India. Then our aim is to make in India rather than depend on imports. So this idea is very much this idea has helped in the innovation of our country. With respect to that, the Indian Council of Medical Research and Panacea Biotech Limited, they had announced the initiative of the first phase 3 clinical trial for a dengue vaccine in India. It is developed by this dengue vaccine. It is the first indigenously developed dengue vaccine in India. It is developed by the Panacea Biotech Limited, and with the help of the Indian Council of Medical Research, they are going to conduct the first phase 3 clinical trial for a dengue vaccine in India. This trial will evaluate the efficiency of India's indigenous tetravalent dengue vaccine. The vaccine's name is dengue all, and it is as we already saw, it is developed by the Panacea Biotech. This trial, it will evaluate the efficacy of India's tetravalent dengue vaccine. About this, the tetravalent dengue vaccine strain, the strains are TV tetravaccine 003 and TV 005. These strains were originally developed by the National Institute of Health in US, and it has shown promising results in preclinical and clinical trials worldwide. About this tetravalent dengue vaccine, dengue all, it is phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials were completed in 2018 and 19. It has shown tremendous results in that, and it's phase 3. This Panacea Biotech Limited, in collaboration with ICMR, it will conduct the phase 3 clinical trial across 9 sites in 18 states and union territories of India. And about this, we should know that it is India's first indigenously dengue vaccine. This shows how our country has changed from depending upon the uh, imports in the recent history, and now how we are making such things by our own. How Make in India is showing some great results with respect to the science and technology, with respect to the defense industry, with respect to the medical industry and other required industries. So it shows, it definitely indicates the future of our medical science. Now, this was about the phase 3 clinical trial openness for the indigenously dengue vaccine. Here in this article, there are few things which we should know. The name of the vaccine, which is dengue, all who developed it, it is the Panacea Biotech Limited. You know, we should know that these are few points which we should know. It is in collaboration with whom? The Indian Council of Medical Research, the Panacea collaborated, and they are going to conduct the phase 3 clinical trial across 9 sites in 18 states and union territories. So it is the first indigenously designed dengue vaccine. So these are few points which we need to know about this article. Moving forward to the fourth article of today's discussion, the Ministry of Environment, they gave us the good news on the eve of our Independence Day that three more Ramsar wetland sites were added. Now India has 85 Ramsar wetland sites total in India. In this article, the Environment Ministry said three more wetlands in India had been designated Ramsar sites. What are those new Ramsar sites? It is Nanjarayan and Kazu Valley Bird Sanctuaries in Tamil Nadu and Tawa Reservoir in MP, Madhya Pradesh. So these are three Ramsar sites. Now the question here arises, do we have to remember all 85 Ramsar sites? It is not easy. It is not the cup of tea for us. But from the recent trends of the UPSC, we can understand one thing, that we have to remember those who had come recently from last 1 or 2 years who are added. We have to remember those Ramsar sites. So remembering these Nanjar, Ryan, Kazu Valley, and Tawa Reservoir, these three Ramsar sites becomes very much important for our exams. So do remember them. Do remember from which states they come and what is the why these Ramsar sites are so important. With respect to the total Ramsar sites covering, how much area do the total Ramsar sites cover in India? Uh, the total area covered by these Ramsar sites. The total is 13 lakh 58,068 hectares in India. And also India is one of the as we know, India is one of the contracting parties to the Ramsar Convention, which was signed in Ramsar, Iran in 1971. We became signatory to it in 1982. One more informative thing about it, we should know that from 1982, when we signed this agreement, till 2013, we only have 26 sites, but from 2014 and 2024 we had added 59 more sites. So it shows the significance and impact of the new government in our country. you know Also, with respect to this, we should know that Tamil Nadu has the highest number of Ramsar sites, which is 18. And what is the criteria to become to be added as a Ramsar site? We should note this also. To be a Ramsar site, a wetland must meet at least one of the 9 criteria defined by the Ramsar Convention. Let's see what are such criteria. Few of the criteria. First, it should be supporting vulnerable, endangered, and critically endangered species, also threatened ecological communities, and regularly supporting 20,000 or more water birds, and it should be important source of food for fish. So this is the either one of such you know criterion which are put forward by the Ramsar Convention should be satisfied this by the wetland, then it would be added as a Ramsar site. Now this was about this. This was about these three more Ramsar wetland sites now in India. We should remember, it is very important for the prelims perspective that we should remember such sites as it is Nanjarayan, Kazu Valley Bird Sanctuary, and Tawa Reservoir. Nanjarayan and Kazu Valley Bird Sanctuary, they are in Tamil Nadu, and Tawa Reservoir is in Madhya Pradesh. So, and we should also know that Tamil Nadu has the highest number of Ramsar sites in India. And we should have a look at the criterion for what is the criteria to be added as the Ramsar site. Let me repeat it once again: supporting vulnerable, endangered and critically endangered species; second, threatened ecological communities; regularly supporting 20,000 or more water birds; and an important source of food for fish. These are some few of the major criterion for being the part of the wetland sites in India. Now, moving forward, we have the important article, and this is the last article of today's discussion. As the name suggests, Heal in India, New Era in Healthcare. We already discussed about the indigenously developed dengue vaccine in India. We saw that the third phase of clinical trial with respect to that. Now let's look at our, the article itself wants us to look at the history of India's medical science from India's health sector from its independence day till now. You know, it is 78th Independence Day today, and we will have a look at it. What earlier, if we look at our health sector, whenever earlier till 1980s, whenever any person who was very much influential in our country, he got ill, he got sick, what they used to do, they will go to the western countries and get the healthcare support there, go visit the best hospitals there, because we lack this thing in our country. But from the 1880s itself, 1980s itself, our this trend has started to change. We had developed our development in this had reached its peak. Now if we will look at this, now we are attracting more than 147 countries in India. Our medical research, our health sector has reached to that peak that the foreign people are visiting our country for taking this medical help in our country. Medical tourism has increased. Now let's have a conventional look to this article. This depends. If we look at this dependency, it was not only a drain on our financial resources but also a testament to the gaps in our healthcare sector. For example, when we used to go to the western country taking the medical help from there, we did not only spend lots of money there, but it also showed one more thing, that there is a huge gap between the health sector which is there in the western countries and the health sector which is in our country. There was a huge gap in it. Now today, as our research and development has developed to the level, our health sector has developed. Now today, India is recognized globally for its world class medical services. Today we are attracting patients from over 147 countries. And if we look at the recent studies, India saves billions in foreign exchange annually, as fewer Indians need to travel abroad for medical treatment. We used to spend in billions while traveling to the other countries, to the foreign countries, for our medical treatment. Now today, because of the development in our medical sector, we are saving billions of money in that. And India, and also the Indian health sector, it is very much cost effective healthcare destination, and it is attracting lots of people from foreign countries. It has given rise to the medical tourism in our country. Many people are coming from different countries, from Pakistan, from our neighborhood, from from African continent. Many people are coming to our country and seeking treatment from here, as we are very much cost effective, and we have this, मतलब कि हमारे पास ये नज़रिया है कि so we are, and also we can provide this help to the people all over this world. Had this, but because of the development in our healthcare, we were able to save billions of money, and the people with the patients we attract from all over the world. It has contributed to the economy of our country. It has helped in, you know, in the creation of jobs, and it has fostered growth in the related sectors such as hospitals, transportation, and pharmaceuticals. But and also it is said that we earn over 9 billion revenue annually from this medical tourism. But still there is need of the growth when we compare it with the when we compare our health sector with other for other neighboring countries, for example China. So there is still need of the growth. But to be honest, this article shows us that we are directed in the good way. We are very much progressing in it, as we had earlier discussed about the dengue vaccine, the indigenization, the make in India program. It is very much successful with respect to the medical science. And also we saw in the COVID times how India was the safe hub for the patients, and how we contributed to the COVID-19, how we were called the pharmacy of the world by because of the health sector in our country, because of the medication in our country. So with this, but we still need some improvements with respect to this. So with this we conclude today's discussion. I hope you would had understood it. I hope I was able to deliver the information which was required to you guys. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much.